Hey, I'm Jeremiah here from Equipter. Today I'm going to show you on the Equipter 7000 how to safely operate it. Alright, we're going to start here at what we call the hitch end or the back end of the unit. So here's your key switch to turn the unit on. This also powers the engine on. You have your display on the unit, and then I'm going to give you an overview here of the actual belly pack or the remote control that you're going to use to operate the 7000. So starting down here at the bottom right, this button right here is actually your pairing button, e-stop button. Over here on the left, starting at the top, we have a horn. This button in the middle here cycles through your different steering modes, four-wheel steer, crab steer, and just one axle steer. The bottom button is your basically like a dead man switch. It actually functions as two buttons. So one is for your packup and setup sequence. That's a dead man switch, and then it also functions as a fork level assist on off. The joystick here is what powers or what operates the drive. So forward, backward, left, right. And then the twist of it controls the throttle or the RPMs. The four paddle switches here, if you notice the white and the orange, these four will actually operate different functions depending which mode you're in. So by default, you're in mode A, which is the orange. All four of these will operate each of the outriggers. I'm going to jump over here to the right. This button at the top is your mode selector. So you hit that once, that goes to mode B, hit it again, back to mode A. This joystick is going to operate your boom functions. So pull it up, go up, up to go down. This is your tilt. And then the twisting action controls the boom extend and retract. And then when you're in mode B, of course, these four go to your packup, your tailgate. There is a finger actually on the boom, we'll show you, and then the hitch itself to up and down to lower it onto the ball of your vehicle. Next, we'd like to go over some of the safety interlocks that we have built into the 7000 machine. And the trigger for that is when the boom is 10 degrees or higher, those safety interlocks are going to kick in or be active. So when the boom is lower than 10 degrees, none of those safety interlocks are going to be active. So if you do want to go higher than 10 degrees on the boom, one of the first things you're going to have to do is deploy all four outriggers on the machine. And each of the outriggers on the main display has a red line currently on it. Once you lower those outriggers and apply pressure or lift the machine off the ground a little bit, those indicators are going to turn green. All four of those outrigger lines need to turn green in order for you to go higher than the 10 degrees. You also need to be within several degrees level on the machine, and that's indicated here as well with this target icon in the middle. That dot, when it's orange or when it turns red, you're out of that range. So you need to level the machine to bring it back to where that dot is green or in the center. And then you'll be able to take the boom up full range of motion. One other key factor is the boom will begin to drift down if it is overloaded. Once the outriggers are deployed and you are above that 10 degrees, if you do happen to overload it, there is an alarm that is going to start going off, indicating that you need to bring it down and empty your box. Below that 10 degrees, again, without any safety interlocks active, the boom will drift down, but it also will not notify you with any type of alarm. That is only active above the 10 degrees. All right, I'm going to demonstrate starting up the 7000 and pairing your belly pack to the machine so you're ready to operate. So first, we're going to do a key switch on. I'm going to pull up the e-stop. Once this comes to the setup screen, the bottom right, we're going to hold that start button for a few seconds. This screen now comes to life and basically mirrors what's on the 7000, and now you're ready to start the engine. All right, now we're going to run through the driving function of the belly pack. So on your belly pack, on the left side here, the joystick. If you want to drive forward, simply push your joystick front. If you want to go into reverse, simply pull it back towards you. For steering, it's all-wheel steer, so simply push it to the right, to steer to the right, steer to the left, simply push your joystick to the left. Now we also have two other steering modes. By hitting the center button there once, that switches to crab mode. Now simply steer to the right, and steering to the left, simply push it to the left. If you push the steering mode once again, now you go to one axle steer, and simply the same thing, push it to the right to steer right, and push it to the left to steer left. And pushing it once again, now you're back to four-wheel steer. And that's how you drive and steer the 7000. All right, we're going to run through how to set up the 7000 with the outriggers to enable the max reach of the 7000. So what we have on the display on the unit as well as on the belly pack is these small red lines over each outrigger. So we're going to have to lower the outriggers, get the machine up off of the ground a little bit until each of these lines turns green, which enables the lift system to reach its full capacity. To operate the outriggers, simply make sure you're in mode A, which is displayed on the screen here at the bottom left, as well as on the machine as well, mode A. But in mode A, each of these paddles operate each of the outriggers. So simply pull it down, lower them, and to bring them back up, simply push it up, same way on all four of them. All right, now with the unit up on the outriggers, we can proceed to operate the boom, and we do that here on the right-hand side of the joystick. So simply pulling it down is going to raise your boom up, pushing it up, going to bring the boom back down. Pushing it to the right or to the left is going to operate your dump up and dump down or tilt. Your twisting action on the joystick is going to extend the boom or retract the boom. And then finally, with the debris box, the tailgate function is here on the second paddle. Now you do need to make sure you are in mode B to operate the tailgate. And again, that's selected here on the top button on the right-hand side to switch to mode B. All right, we're going to run through how to hook up or pack up the 7000 ready for towing behind your vehicle. So one of the first things we're going to make sure of is we want to go into mode B. So I'm going to select mode B here on the belly pack. Now we can operate our hitch as well as the pack up and setup. So I'm going to lower the hitch down slightly, pull up slowly to the vehicle. Once I'm centered over the ball in the vehicle, I'll bring that hitch the rest of the way down onto the ball, securing the hitch in place. And it's also a good idea to hook up your safety chains. After that's complete, now we can switch to the dead man switch, which is here bottom left. You hold that button. With that being held, you simply push this pack up paddle up and just hold it. You're going to hold it until the image on the display on the unit is actually going to turn green. The outline of the unit is going to turn green once it's all packed up and ready to tow. Okay, we're going to run through how to disconnect the 7000 now from your tow vehicle, get it into setup, or get it set up for safe operation. So one of the first things we're going to do is we can disconnect the light hookup as well as the e-brake, but we're going to leave the safety chains hooked up as well as the hitch. And then we're going to run what's called the setup sequence. So again, you're in mode B, you hold the dead man switch, you operate this to the setup, this paddle. Now it's going to run through the setup sequence on the 7000. And again, you're going to hold that paddle until the light on the display turns green, indicating that it's safe to operate. Then you're simply going to proceed with disconnecting the safety chains, as well as releasing the latch on the ball and raising your hitch up like that. Once that hitch is clear, you can slowly pull away, drive away from the vehicle. All right, next we're going to walk you through how to take the box off of the machine and pull the boom out from underneath for, say, you want to hook up the forks on the front of the box. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, is power it on, and we're going to raise the boom up a little bit and then boom all the way out. And then once that is done, there's a fold down leg in the back we're going to flip down. There is 2 hoses that operate the tailgate. We're going to disconnect those. And then on the front of the box, there is a telescopic leg on each side that we're going to lower all the way. Once those are all down, then we'll come back on the controls and position the box down on the ground, and then keep going down until our boom is released and suck it all the way back in. So we'll run through that now. Okay, I'm going to pull our safety pin, release that. We also need to remove the lower pin. Basically, you're going to just remove it and stick it right back in once that's folded down. Next, going to remove the auxiliary lines. Okay, and then we're going to drop down the front leg. So there are 2 pins. All right, we'll go to the other side. Before we do that, with your box empty, we're going to take the main pin out of the boom that actually holds the box in place. We're just going to set this here beside it. Now we're going to basically just lower the box until all 3 legs hit the ground evenly. Once we're there, now we can continue to lower the boom slowly, like that. Now I'm going to tilt forward as if I would be dumping the box. So I'm going to do that till I see the box moving a little bit. I'm going to drop it down the rest of the way. I'm going to suck the boom in, continue to tilt a little bit in steps. And now it's free. Now I can continue to retract the boom the entire way. All right, now with our boom fully retracted, it's actually a great time to hook up to our forks because we're going to be very closely aligned to those. So first, we're going to remove the safety lanyard. And going to boom up, and basically we're wanting to align this top bushing and the bottom bushing with these cutouts in the forks. Going to raise up, get a line. We're going to simply extend the boom. All right, there you can see we're not quite aligned. Sometimes just by turning your wheels, you can get a line. In this case, it's not quite enough, so I'm going to turn a little bit and back up on the machine, and now extend out. All right, there we go. So now coming on in, now go up. All right, and we want to eliminate that gap in there, or else the pin isn't going to line up right. So by tilting this, sometimes when they're new, it takes a little bit get them lined up, but all right, that's very close. We're going to take our master pin that we had removed from the box and insert that into the forks. Okay, now that we're hooked up, we're ready to retract, but we need to release these orange safety latches. That's done by pulling this red handle. So pull and hold it and retract the boom until you're clear of those latches. Now you can let go and continue to retract the boom. That's as far as we got. We're going to straighten up the wheels and back away slowly. All right, we are clear. That's how you remove the forks from the box. All right, now with the forks attached, I'm going to explain this finger, what we call the finger on the boom, and how you essentially get to the ground with this boom the way it is. So I'm going to back away from the box a little further. And in this configuration, with the without the finger being moved, I can pull those forks all the way in. So we're first going to extend the boom until this finger is clear of the machine. All right, now that we're clear, we're going to switch over to mode B. So switching to mode B on the belly pack, and this lever here for the finger, we're going to lower that finger down. Now at the same time, I'm going to have to keep tilting the forks up. Keep taking the finger all the way down. All right, now we're all the way down, and now you can see, now you can reach the ground with the forks in this configuration. There is also a safety on the machine that if you were to suck the boom in now, that's as far as it goes. It won't allow you to come back and crash into the machine like that. So yeah, in this configuration, you'll be able to reach the ground in front of the machine. So if you do raise the boom and say you're raising something to the roof and want to get more height, you can raise that finger back up in the straight configuration. And yeah, from here now you can actually retract the boom the entire way. Now we're going to go ahead and attach the forks or reattach the forks up against the box, and I'll walk you through how to do that. So basically driving up to the machine a little bit closer. And one of the best ways to align the machine with the box or the forks is actually from the back or the hitch end of the machine. And if you line the boom up with the box, that is about the best way to align things. So come back up here. And all we're doing is basically just getting those fork pockets aligned to the forks. Now that we're this close, I'm going to use the boom functions instead of the driving. Basically just keep extending, aligning. Now that we're up here, just pay attention to these orange hooks and this large rod. You basically want to keep pushing the forks in until those orange latches latch on both sides. In this case it did. Next thing, remove the pin. Okay, with the pin removed, now we can simply drop the boom down and retract. Once you're clear of the machine, you want to hook your safety lanyard back in place. And that's how you connect the forks back up to the box. Now with the forks attached, now we can go ahead and hook back up to our box. So we should be aligned again with the box. Now, I'm actually going to hit on the left side. I'm going to retract a little bit. I'm going to turn to the right and drive forward slightly. I'm going to extend. I'm going to drop the boom down, go to the right a little bit further. Extend. Okay, now we're actually hitting. There we go. Okay, now we're going to just keep extending the whole way. Now, we're actually not quite far enough in, so I'm going to straighten out my wheels and drive forward slowly. Basically going to go until I see the contact being made on that boom. All right, there we are. So now I'm going to lift up a little bit. All right, now the top bushing is connected, but we need to get this one into here. So I'm basically going to act as if I'm bringing the box down, or instead of dumping, the opposite direction of dumping. You can see as it's basically pulling the box front a little bit. All right, now we're going to go up on the boom, and now I'm going to tilt it as if I'm dumping it a little bit to reset everything. All right, there we go. Going to set it back down just so it touches. Now we're going to put our pin, our master pin, back in. Okay, now we're going to raise it up off of the ground a little bit, and then we're going to raise those legs up in the air and connect our hoses. These are marked. There's a little orange ring on here. That lines up with the top one. Bottom one. All right, now the front legs. It doesn't matter which order you do these pins. Okay, now we'll do the other side. Okay, got our pins reattached, we got the legs folded up, and we have the hoses attached. Now we're simply just going to retract the boom. All right, one other important note when you're operating the box, we ask that you do not operate the finger with the box attached to it. There's actually an interference that can happen. Also, any of the other safety features of the machine, refer to the operator manual that comes with it. There's a lot of features on the machine and a lot of things going on. You'll find those in the operator manual. So familiarize yourself with that. That's going to be very helpful for you. We also hope these videos are helpful to you. We thank you for your trust here in Equipter and with this new machine. So enjoy.